around March or April of 2015, I started to notice a dry cough coming around. And you know, when you work on an aircraft the entire time, dry coughs are common because of the dry air on the plane. So anyway, when I told this to my new doctor, he listened to my lungs, said, okay, well, let's give you some medication. This will help you take the cough away. And then he said, just to be safe, let's order an X-ray and a CT scan. And finally, when I got the CT scan, I was actually on a layover in Las Vegas with my family. And he calls me and is like, hey, I got the results of your CT scan and I see what looks like scar tissue. I'm not sure what it really is, but I'm going to forward your information and I want you to see one of our pulmonologists here at Straub. So when I went in there and sat down, I was like, okay, well, what's going on? So he pulls up the CT scan and he starts pointing to some of the things on the CT scan. And then he said the words pulmonary fibrosis. And the moment he said that, I literally looked at him with as if I got hit over by a back truck, like, what are you talking about? But as he kept talking, I only referred to back when my dad had pulmonary fibrosis. And my dad actually died back in 1982 of a pulmonary fibrosis. So I looked up at him and he gives me his business card and he's like, look, I know this is terrible news, but whatever you do, understand that life is worth living and there's options for you. And then he said again, don't Google this disease. And of course, between the doctor's office and my car, what did I do? I Googled it. But it said on there I'd have 2 to 5 years to live. And because there was no cure, I thought, I'm done. 2 to 5 years, what am I gonna do? So she is very close with one of my nieces. She's my sister's daughter, and I kind of raised her since she was 4. So sure enough, when I got home, I tried to gather myself, and I gave her a call. And as I started to tell her what was going on, and she told me, look, you've got such a great support out there, your family and your friends, unbelievable amount of people is going to come to your side. So no matter what, we're going to get through this. So, I thought, okay, if she's being as positive as she can be, I thought I can be too. So as I sat there and I started mentioning the disease and what the doctors said, my mom got really quiet. And I had to ask her point blank, how do you feel? And she's like, no. This can't be happening. There's no way. I told her, look, I don't know what's really going to happen. When I go back to the doctor, we'll see what he says. So I remember I walked out the night before my second appointment and I just had a talk with Keoni. And I said, look, I totally accept this. I'm not going to question why. Just give me the strength to get through this. Allow me to do as much research so that I can help myself and those around me. And also take away all the negativity, all the blocks, and all the negative people who are in my life, because I didn't have room for negativity anymore. Having that talk with Keoni allowed me to go on the next day with a very positive mindset. So it was through that. We talked about medication that was just recently approved by the FDA. And then we talked about other things like about finding a support group. And it just so happens my pulmonologist plays in a band on the side with this guy who was a group leader for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation support group here in Hawaii. Support group meetings meet on the last Monday of every month. So I sat there, I listened to what they had to say and thought to myself, yeah, they've got good information here. And they gave me handouts that I got to read. And so every month I made it a point to be there. And finally, about maybe 7 months ago, they asked me to be a group leader. And it's because every time I go in, I'm sharing all the information about our research, telling them what resources are out there, bring my laptop and my projector and I say, okay, look, this is what the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation has to offer, and these are great webinars. But it was through the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation that I was able to find the right resources. So by going on their website, for example, they tell you, okay, now if you want information about this, check out this website. So to be able to read it in layman's terms made it more possible for me to go back and share that same information with the people in my group, because then they could understand it better. And like I said, I found that calling to be that advocate. And again, it helps me. So why would I want to take that same information and help others out there as well? So that support group has been, gosh, an incredible, to say support is hardly half of it. I wouldn't be as active, or I don't think I'd actually be here if I didn't have that kind of support behind me, Because it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole and just think, not worth it. 2 years, I'm just gonna waste away. But I think this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm only allowed to do it because of the people I have behind me and because of the support that I have. So whether you're a patient, a family caretaker, just a friend, educate yourself, find a way that you can be supportive and just help to make life better.